Alrighty, Juanitosville, welcome back to Boom Jewelry Designs. I've been taking a little bit of a break from making process jewelry adventure videos, tutorials, because I've been working on commissions and just, you know, keeping the lights on around here, friends. You guys know how it is, guys. But I just want to come back and do another video, a jewelry adventure for you guys. We're going to make a spinner ring, and we're going to do a unorthodox style. Now, the spinner ring, the biggest challenge of spinner rings, if you guys know from this video where I did some manufacturing of production, I guess you would call it, of several, I think I did a dozen spinner rings. The biggest challenge with spinner rings, guys, is the flare. It's getting these to kind of bow out without cracking the edges. If you do it properly, do it slowly, you can do it. But, you know, out of the 12 that I made in that video, I think I had one casualty, which is pretty lucky. But today, guys, we're going to make a spinner ring that's going to accompany this bracelet for a client I have in Texas. This is fused with copper going all the way through. It has some gold elements to it, jeweler's brass elements to it. And the client wants a spinner ring that he can wear with this and then have a pinky ring. He's a big individual, and the ring size needs to be 11 and 1/4, 11 and a quarter size. So my goal, guys, is to do, now the flare is the hard part, and the goal is to create a fused shank, which is the back part of it, with mismatching pieces fused together, so there's some negative space, or at least the image of negative space in there, and then flared without it cracking. Now, I've tried a couple already and I've had all failures, but for some reason I just feel like if I try it again I can do it, because I feel like I'm close, guys. And you know, I don't like failure, and I don't like not being able to do what I want to do. And this is super unorthodox, using a hodgepodge of pieces fused together and then expecting to be able to flare them out without them cracking is going to be a major challenge. And I've tried several different ways and none of them have worked. And I want to take you along this process in case if I accidentally do it properly or make it have success. I want you guys to see that. And if I fail, guys, then I think I'm going to give up. I think I'm going to give up, because maybe it's just fundamentally a flawed design idea. Now, I don't like that idea of having a flawed idea, because I think anything is possible with jewelry and silver. And so we're just going to give it the old college try, guys. We're going to go again. I have these pieces that I'm going to fuse together. This is from a 3/4 melt that I rolled out, and it has some pretty cool textures in there, but it's all going to be fused. This is also another piece that I use for another piece, or just some scrap. And then this is another piece that I rolled out just off a piece of ingot that was really small. And I have some more, but I wanted to take this with you, take you guys on this journey with me, on this adventure, to see if it's possible, guys. Can we make a hodgepodge spinner ring with the shank of all these different pieces fused together, and then successfully fuse them without cracking? Is it possible? Is it? Now, if you guys aren't familiar with the flaring aspect of it, if we're looking at the ring, it has a flare like that. And then the rings go like this, the spinner rings. But that flare puts a lot of stress on the metal and makes it to flare out so the rings don't fall off. But you have to do this at the last step, at least one of them on the last step, and hope it doesn't crack. Now, I've had, my other ones have had some space in here, some negative space, and then it cracked right there, or crack. And we don't want to crack, friends. We want to see if we can make this work. And I really just believe that I can do it. And I might be dumb, in thinking that, but we're gonna try, guys. I'm gonna take you guys with me on this adventure, because maybe if you guys are watching, maybe the jewelry gods will smile upon me and let me have success, friends. So I'm sipping my Juanitosville coffee out of my Juanitosville coffee mug, and I think that might be my lucky thing today. So let's just get to work. Let's start I'll use my snippers, and we're just gonna cut little pieces and get it to kind of like where we want it. We're gonna fuse it, we're gonna bend it, we're gonna flare it, and we're gonna start with one side flare. And if we get that one side flared, I believe we can get the other side flared. And then we're gonna probably do some like some spinner rings on it. Maybe I'll do different ideas, hodgepodge spinners possibly. But let's just get to town and let's go get some supplies, friends. I'm Benny. You guys here at Boom Jewelry Designs. We're gonna try to make our dreams come true. On two. Ready? Break! All right, friends. I know I want about 75 mil for the ultimate length of it, considering the thickness. So that's about 76 mil. We're gonna cut this in half because I think what we're gonna do is we're gonna go, to give ourselves a fighting chance, we want one piece on the rail, the top and bottom rail, to be at least solid. But I'm thinking if I can do a top and bottom piece solid and then mismatch in here and then fuse all that together. But if I fuse it properly, it will all become one piece. So let's go to the soldering block and just put this on there. So once I get it where I want it, then I can just throw the heat on it and I don't have to like transfer it as I'm building it. Instead of building it here, let's build it on the soldering block. So my goal, guys, that I've learned from my other kind of failed attempts is to create a thicker shank. Thick enough that it can and where they meet, you definitely want to have some material right there. Thick enough that it can withstand the stress of the flaring. I think what I may do is once I get it fused all like I want it, I'm thinking about possibly rolling it in my rolling mill to get the thickness down again. But man, I'm telling you, having a vision and not being able to fulfill the vision is really annoying. You know how you duct tape something and then it doesn't work, and then you're like, you know what? I'm just going to put the whole roll of duct tape on this, and we're just going to hope for the best, because I'm not going to do little pitchy-patchy. I'm not going to be pitchy-patchy about it. We're going to go hard. Go hard in the paint. And we'll know if this is going to be a whack idea, guys. Because I'm not beyond whackness in my ideas. And I don't know if you guys have ever seen this before. Now, I learned fusing from Robert Lopez. You can look him up on YouTube. He makes tools. He makes really cool tools. He makes this awesome riveting tool. He makes a really cool tool. He makes solder picks out of tungsten or something. And he makes tools. And he's super artistic. And he has a great workbench. And he's just a good dude, man. So go check out Robert Lopez. He turned me on to fusing early in my jewelry life. And now I'm gonna go Chad Parker. He has another great channel. He does a lot of tutorials. He is serious about his tutorials as far as consistency and all the different designs that he does. So go to Chad Parker. I believe he's in northern Colorado. I'm in southwestern Colorado near Telluride, Ouray. I was trained under Melanie Klein, master silversmith and founder of Ouray Silversmiths in Ouray, Colorado, western Colorado, where I am. And yeah, so you know, we're all in the game, guys. We love art. All right, friends, let's see how dumb we are. So we're just gonna we're looking for the fusation, guys, and in that you're really looking for the silver to start to respond. It'll relax into itself. You want to keep your flame moving. Allow that silver to kind of get toasty all the way through. We're gonna fuse this side and get the top layer really fused and try to get as much as we can deep into the layers, and then we'll flip it over, and hopefully when we flip it over it won't pieces won't fall apart, but we're gonna really get this good. If I need to add some more, I will. I'm not too proud. Take a look and see what this does. See how it's starting to lay down, and those negative spaces are starting to present themselves, which is what I like. And the client would like to have that negative space. And it's not unadvisable to go ahead and tap a little bit, just to really get, if those pieces want to melt into each other, go ahead and if they're lifted against each other or lifted away from each other, see that? Just kind of press, give a little pressy press. You really want it to be on one level plane, all the pieces touching. There's going to be lots of reticulation, which is the bubbling of the silver as it's approaching a melting point right before it gets to liquid. Silver is awesome because it kind of goos. It turns into goo, like a goo state, right before it gets to the liquid state. So it's great for fusing. Okay guys, I'm gonna go turn this off and we're just gonna look at it. We're gonna try to move it so that it doesn't stick. Okay, we have that. We're gonna flip it over. And then we're gonna go ahead and blast it from this side, guys. If it's very dimensional and thick, two-dimensional and too thick, then we're gonna go ahead and roll it in the roller. Just let these molecules marry. Feel pretty good about that. I feel like we have one solid piece right there, guys, and in real time I'm gonna go ahead and quench this. Not right away, because I don't want to make the silver mad. You know how it gets. Oh, that's not too mad. Let's manipulate. Okay, we have a solid piece right there, guys. Look at that. We want about 75 mil, and if we're too big, that's fine. We're about 80 mil, so that's going to make it so that we can cut a little bit off the edge here, a little bit off the edge here. A little concerned with how thin that is right there, because we want the borders to be really nice. So I might add another piece right there and let that meld right there. So this is the things that I've learned, and you really don't want to have these weak points, because a weak point right there can end up ruining your dreams, and we don't want our dreams ruined. All right, Juan Roseville, I rolled it and I put the boom on the back, and we're gonna file this and try to get it kind of flat again. I would like for it to be around 15 millimeters wide. Currently is about 20. But I'm going to clean these edges up and get it to be a band. And then we're going to roll it into a ring shank at about 73 millimeters, which will be 11, roughly, with this thickness. This is currently about 16 gauge. We want to be 11.25, size 11 1/4. So let's do a little cleanup, and then I'll bring you guys back, and then we'll get ready to bend this. And I think this is substantial enough to be able to flare. I will anneal it again, because we want to anneal and make sure the silver is as soft as possible for the flaring part of it. But I'm going to do a little bit of filing and some cleanup, maybe saw some of these big jaggeds off, and then get it nice and flat and see if we can get a good shank look. But we have some negative space in there, and we have some cool texture. So we're going to go with it. Okay, friends, we're here. We have about, let's see, about 75 mil. 75 mil on this bad boy. We have a nice thickness. If you guys can see that thickness there. And I think this can withstand some flaring. So I think what I'm going to do is bend it preliminarily into a circle and make sure that we're about 11 1/4. And if I have to, because it's so thick, I think 75. If it was thinner, maybe 73. But you have to account for the thickness of the metal when you're sizing ring shanks, guys. You guys probably already know that. But the thicker the metal, the longer it needs to be, because it has more of a area, more mass to be able to go around any particular area. So I wonder if I should probably anneal this. I'm going to anneal this one more time, and then I'll bring you back and we'll get it around the ring mandrel and see where we are as far as size, and then get a nice solder, a nice heavy solder on this so that it is as strong as possible. And then once it's in a ring form, then we can file it and get it to the shape that we want it. Because it's a little wonky. You can see it has a little indentation right there, and that's fine. We can deal with that once it's in the ring form. So let's anneal, and then we'll try to bend this, and we'll see what we're working with. All right, you jewelry rebels. Here we are, friends. We are, it's still a gap there, and we're about 11 1/4, I believe, guys. I'm going to file this a little bit just to get it just a little bit closer to the 11 mark. We're right over 11, but not quite over the 12 yet. So we're about 11 1/2. I'm going to take a little bit. We were close with our measurements of 75 mil for 16 gauge. And I'll look in my ring chart and just make sure that we're in the ballpark there. But once that's soldered closed, I'm going to file these a little narrower. It's a big time boss ring. Just like that is cool. Man, how cool is that, guys? All right, let's just keep working. All right, rock and rollers, we are here. I have this set up just like this. There's a lot of tension on that, but you know, when you're working with big silver, sometimes and big thick, sometimes it has a tendency, the ring wants to open up. So I'm going to show you guys a little tip that I've discovered pretty much on my own. I haven't really seen anybody else do this in this way. I fluxed the seam. The seam is not exactly super duper tight. It's kind of tight, but not real tight. So I'm cooking the flux off, and I'm going to put my solder chips, and I'm using mediums. And of course that has to happen. It's like I have a slight angle on this. And of course the solder has to slide through the angle. Roughly 15 gauge in my measurement. So we want to make sure we get a solder run all the way through, and we're going to put the heat on the outside and pull the solder through the seam. Now, I have my tongs that I use for my crucible that I got with one of my little crucible bowls, and this is kind of my technique. Is I wait for the solder in Europe, for all my European friends out there, to start to respond. And I'm evenly, it's responding, evenly, now I'm going to give it a little squeeze. Just a little squeeze. Take the heat away, hold the squeeze, release. And that squeeze just really just holds that seam nicely tight at the last second. You want that seam has a tendency to, sometimes wants to open up on you. Because the heat makes everything kind of want to loosen up. And so we're going to look at that seam in there. We have a nice seam all the way through. A nice seam on the top. It's a little ridged, but it's very thick. So I'll probably smooth that out a little bit. But you can see right there, we got a nice seam. I really feel good about that. So we're going to go ahead and clean that up and then round this on the mandrel to get it right where we want it to be. But I wanted to show you that little pinch technique, especially when you use these, when you're doing a wide band. Now we're going to file this a little narrower, but when you're working with the wide band, sometimes it wants to go here and then it opens here. So this pinch technique just allows you to really just have that last minute oomph to close that nice, take the heat off, keep the pinch, and then let the solder just solidify, and you're gonna have a nice seam. So yeah, okay, let's clean it up and round it out and see what we're working with. We should be at 11 1/4 size. Alrighty friends, here we are. Pulled it out of the pickle, and I think we're gonna be okay here, guys. I wanted to get your guys's in the comments, guys. Will you guys let me know when you have a wide shank like this, what is the size? Do you go by the middle, by the biggest side? How do you guys measure the sizes? So I'm gonna go ahead and file this down, get this a little bit flatter, and we're gonna attempt a flare. So let me just do a little bit of cleanup work on this, and then I'll bring you back, and then we'll get our dapper and start flaring this and hope for the best. All right, wily villains, we are at this place, guys. We are at this place, and we are hoping that this will flare at least a little bit. You guys ready? You guys ready? You guys ready for the action? Just looking at it, it's not perfectly round, but it will be. Let's go. Just. Oh, geez, that's not good. I'm gonna keep looking at it. Keeping the eye on the prize, friends. We're getting a little dappage, little flarage. I can see some flarage. Friends, we've got some flarage. Can you guys see that slight flare? Let's keep going. Let's just imagine if, I don't know if this is big enough. Fit over there. I don't think it is. This spinner ring might be a little small. We can stretch this though. You guys know the technique. Just give it a little. Let's see. Okay. Dudes. Okay, guys, I think we're in the ballpark. I think we're in the ballpark, kids. Yeah, I think we're going to pull this off, guys. All right, so I'm going to make some more spinners. I'm going to make a gold one and then a copper one. And then we will just take it from there. But I think we're in the money. I may anneal this again just to, because I'm so gun shy, guys. Yeah, I'm going to anneal one more time. Okay, cat moms and dads out there, we have the flared outside. I did a little bit of work on these, guys. We have jeweler's brass, copper, half round copper with a little bit of bead on it, beat down with the hammer texture, and then we did the cross texture on this guy, and we got a flare that didn't crack, so we're feeling good about that. We're gonna put this copper one on here. That feels pretty good. I feel like that could be a little bigger. Just make sure these are all feeling nice. Oh yeah, that's nice. That's gonna work. And then this one, I believe, also is going to work too. So let's just make our copper one a little bit bigger. And you guys already know how to do this. If you need to make something just a little bigger, just give it a little extra. Give it a little extra, just a little extra beat down, city. We don't need much, just enough so that it spins. It gives us the action we're looking for. All right, guys, you guys ready for the moment of truth, guys? The last flare. You guys with me? Last flare, friends. Let's gizzo. Tito, let's put you off. You're just gonna start dancing. Well, let's let Tito dance. Hey, guys. I'm a little soft on it because I'm kind of scared, but let's keep going. Okay, we got a flare, guys. Very nice. So that's it, guys. I may flare just a little bit more. A little action right here, a little crackage. And I think we have something that matches. The theme is it's gonna work, guys. Now, you guys were with me and you guys knew what I had to do to make that happen. And it's possible, friends, but you have to be patient and you have to be a little gutsy. But thank you so much for watching. I hope you guys have learned a little something. I'm always learning every time I do something. Thank you for joining me on this adventure, friends. I hope you guys are staying warm out there as winter is approaching, and you guys are staying brave, doing jewelry adventures and practicing, continuing to develop skills, watching YouTube tutorials such as this one or process videos. And yeah, shout out to all the creators out there that are helping jewelers get good faster, expediting the process and not hiding and hoarding the knowledge, guys. Let's continue to help each other, support each other, and become a better jewelry community and creating better jewelry that will last a lifetime for our customers and clients and friends and for ourselves. You know, we love to make jewelry for ourselves, and you know I do. So yeah, guys, please subscribe if this had any value to you, and I'll catch you guys next time. You know what it is. My name is Benny, and I'm out. Peace.